Hello there, it's Adam from CleaR Motorsport here. Just going to do you a quick show round and a fitting guide for the lower front strut brace I do for the Mazda MX-5 ND or Mk4. Developed this pretty much specifically for the UK 1.5 cars that don't have the upper strut brace from the factory. So what it does is it goes underneath the front subframe. So if you imagine the subframe runs here in like a U shape, the back of it, Mazda have obviously identified that there is a sort of a stiffness issue. It's pretty common to fit a brace to these on sort of the earlier cars. But what they've done on the Mk4 is this panel that comes out for access for the oil filter for servicing. They've doubled up the thickness here to give it a bit more stiffness, which actually leaves a channel into which my brace will fit. So it is stiffer than it could be without any bracing, but just adding that extra brace seems to make a massive difference to sort of steering feel and the sort of wobbliness of the front end. Fitting's dead straightforward. So the testers I have of this product have done it on their drive at home. You can do it just by jacking up one side of the car. Obviously, usual caveats apply. Nice flat surface, level, solid. Use axle stands. So your jacking points you can find on the inside of the sills. So if you run your finger along inside here, you'll see there's like a hump built into the chassis at the front there. So that's one of them. And the second one is at the rear here. There's another hump. It's hard to spot, but it's there. So what I normally do is slide my jack in with a piece of wood and then put the piece of wood up against the back of the sill and then jack against that, and that's nice and solid. And you can get some axle stands in as well. You can support those kind of on the subframe here if you like, and at the back under the subframe there is a good solid position. So fitting the brace is dead straightforward. You just need 12 and 13mm sockets. The bolts are supplied as well. Usually pop a little bit of grease on those since they're going to be underneath the car in all sorts of weather and conditions. So the first thing you need to do is loosen off some of these panel bolts. So we'll start at the side that you're going to insert the brace from. So it can be from the left or from the right, whichever you prefer. And if we undo this bolts completely, one, two at the back there, one on the side, and then working around to the front, that one and that one, and then also the furthest back on the opposite side we'll take out completely as well. If you've got headphones on, turn them down. This little ratchet thing I've got here makes quite a bit of noise. This one just needs to come out about halfway, and then these can come out all the way. And there is enough. There's enough flex in the panel to allow you to fit it without taking them all off. Otherwise, juggling this panel back on your back on a drive is a bit tricky. Cool, so the brace itself has got a slight curve in it that you can hopefully see on the video, and it matches the shape of the panel there, so the kind of wings curve back towards the back of the car, so the CleaR logo is facing you when you fit it. And all you do is pull the brace down, slide it in, and then the two longer bolts that are supplied go through the brace into the original mounting holes. And there's a slight slot on my brace, just it gives you that little bit of wiggle room in case the dimensions on your car aren't exactly the same as mine. Put your 12mm bolts back in. One, two. I'm not going to bother tightening all these up completely because it's a straightforward job. Obviously, you'll be left with two spare bolts, and you just snip all these down. I probably recommend about 25 Newton meters for all of these, and the supplied bolts are a 13 rather than a 12. Once you've got these all tightened down, oops, turn it around. You can see how the brace is completely kind of integrated into the original panel, and if you've got a gearbox cooling scoop like me, it doesn't interfere with the air feed to that. So yeah, nip all these other ones down, put the car back on the floor, and away you go. Enjoy. Thanks very much. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, the brace is 8mm thick, So it's a pretty chunky bit of kit. Weight is 760 grams, and obviously the bolts are a touch longer. So they do add a couple more grams, but it's not it's not much at all. And I see this as kind of a introduction to chassis bracing, if that makes sense. It's not going to be as good as a full underbody brace or like an underbody brace and a top shock tower brace, but it's the sort of thing that you can chuck on the car for very little effort, very little money, and see if you like the feeling that the car gives you, and then you may look to explore further braces from there. Cheers.